Now, throughout NFL history, to no surprise, many players would try to get in the head of their opponents, saying things that you won't believe. Now, with Jalen Ramsey emerging in the league over the last few years in the NFL as the Jaguars' best player, he's also elevated his game by trying to get into the head of his opponents. Although he signed with the Rams this year, his trash talking continues, and interestingly enough, this is something he's grown accustomed to doing. Recently, he appeared on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, where he was talking about where his trash talking began prior to making it professionally. But Jalen went way back to his college days, admitting, "Say I was playing a big receiver at whatever school. I'd look up his Instagram and slide in his girlfriend's DMs before the game. I'll say when I got to the league though, I stopped that because now people got wives and stuff. Somebody got shot over talking about someone's wife." But there's been plenty of instances where Jalen felt it was necessary to try and distract opposing players. Just 3 weeks into his NFL career in Jacksonville, he already started jawing with a future Hall of Famer and Steve Smith in a game. Then during week 9 of the 2017 NFL season, Ramsey was in charge of locking up Bengals star receiver AJ Green when they were going back and forth all game with trash talking as well as pushing and shoving. Halfway through the game, the Bengals were on offense, Ramsey shoved AJ, and you could see AJ run up and put Ramsey in a headlock, throw him to the ground, and start throwing punches at his head, then got up and tackled him again. Both players were ejected during that game, and later in the year when ESPN showed Ramsey a picture of AJ Green, Ramsey said, "Soft, Charmin soft. I told him he was soft. I just kept telling him he was soft. He's soft." Now, AJ Green, who's never known to fight or trash talk, even spoke about Ramsey after the game, saying, "I apologize to my teammates, Mr. Brown and everybody, because that's not who I am. It just got the best of me today. The ref came to me on the sideline and said, next time he puts his hands to your face, we're going to call it. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide a couple of plays. It's football. Things get a little rough up there, so I didn't mind that. But when you start trying to take cheap shots when I'm not looking and stuff like that, that's when I got to defend myself. And I'm not going to back down from anybody. I have a son, and I'm not going to teach him to back down from anybody like that. It's a respect thing. I respect all my opponents, but when it gets to a level when I'm not looking and put myself in danger, I'm going to have to defend myself." Bengals cornerback Adam Jones also spoke about the situation, saying, "Some stuff you just need to keep on the field, and some stuff don't bring to the field regardless of what it is." I'm not going to get into verbatim what he said to AJ and how everything happened, but he'll get what he asked for. It all comes around. It always comes around. Just watch what you say and be respectful to people. You never know what happens. You never know who you're going to play with, and you never know who you're going to see again. I'm going to leave it at that. In August of 2018, after the NFL draft, Jalen Ramsey spoke about the Bills' pick, which was quarterback Josh Allen, and when Jalen spoke publicly about their selection, he said, "I think Buffalo Bills draft pick Josh Allen is trash. I don't care what anybody says. He's trash, and I'm going to show it too. That's a stupid draft pick to me. We played them this year, and I'm excited as hell. I hope he's their starting quarterback. He played at Wyoming. Every time they played a big school, like they played Iowa State, which is not a big school in my opinion because I went to Florida State, and he threw 5 interceptions. And they lost by a couple of touchdowns or something like that. He never beat a big school. If you look at his game against big schools, it was always a hella interceptions, hella turnovers. It's like, yo, if you're this good, why couldn't you do better?" He fits that mold. He's a big, tall quarterback. Big arms, supposedly. I don't see it personally. But just how far is Jalen willing to take his game? Well, in late 2018, Jalen was in a post-game interview when he was talking to reporters about how he doesn't believe in having friends on the field. He even mentioned that it could be his brother, dad, or grandma out there, and he's still gonna hit you hard. When a reporter asked him if he would really hit his grandma, Jalen instantly said, "Nah, I definitely would. She knows that. My grandma knows that. I love you, but you know that." With Tom Brady leading arguably the greatest dynasty in NFL history, many would assume he's a pretty humble player. There's not really any negative headlines ever coming up about him. But little did you know, Brady's been one of the best trash talkers in the league for years, but he keeps his trash talk quiet. Recently, dozens of players have shared their stories of Brady saying things that made them extremely mad as he tried to get into their head on the field. In 2010, Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs said that if he met the Patriots in the playoffs, they would smoke them. But eventually, Brady replied to his comments saying, "Only had his chance, so maybe if he gets another chance, he can try to back those words up. We play those guys a lot, and they've only beat us one time in all the times that I played them, so they talk a lot for beating us once in 9 years." Why does Brady feel the need to trash talk? He admitted that. He said, "It raises everyone's game, as long as it doesn't get to the point where you do something stupid." Recently, retired Patriots teammate Rob Gronkowski weighed in on Tom Brady trying to get into the heads of opponents, but admitted Brady's skill at trash talking should be rated a 1 out of 10. Gronk said, "He's focused always. He gets going sometimes out on the field. I've seen him. Depending on the game and depending on the situation, where he is compared to the defensive players, he hands off the ball and he's 10 yards back, so it's not like he can really get after it. I would say usually on his quarterback sneaks is when he talks trash, if he does." Back in 2012, in a game between the Seahawks and the Patriots, Richard Sherman got into it with Brady after Tom was apparently confident the New England offense was not going to be stopped by Seattle whatsoever. But Sherman talked about this and said he was pretty much saying that we were nobodies and we should come up to him after they got the win. He said stuff like that throughout the game, so we should just take that pretty well. Sure, can I get your autograph too? I think some people get a skewed view of Tom Brady that he's just a clean-cut guy that does everything right and never says a bad word to anyone. We know him to be otherwise. In that moment of him being himself, he said some things and we returned the favor. Unfortunately, he apparently didn't remember what he said. I'm sure also in those moments when he's yelling at the ref, he's just saying, "Good job, you're doing a fantastic job, keep it up." Brady replied to Sherman, who ran up to him after the game to jaw at him some more, when Tom Brady said, "Truthfully, at that time, I thought he was just coming up to say good game." That's all I thought it was. It was loud after that game, so I didn't really hear anything. Then I went to the locker room after the game and he said he was talking trash to me. That was all a bit of a surprise to me. Now, throughout his career, Cortland Finnegan was a top-tier cornerback during his years in the league, especially with the Titans. Over the course of 6 years, he and Texans Andre Johnson got into it what seemed like every single game. Cortland loved to talk trash during games to his opponents, but the main person was Andre, whose team played the Titans a minimum of twice a year. Back in 2010 is when it all started, in a game between the Titans and Texans. Andre and Cortland were going back and forth all game until Andre ripped off his helmet and they started fighting. Cortland ripped Andre's helmet off as well, which sent Andre into a rage, shoving Cortland into the ground and punching him in the head. Andre Johnson, who outside of his yearly battles with Cortland, never really got into a scuffle with anyone else, said, "I think he was just frustrated with what was going on during the game. He kept doing little things. I told him, just because you're frustrated, you need to stop what you're doing." I guess he thought it was funny. He was mad because we had exchanged some words. He tried to jam me because he thought I wasn't looking. He snatched my helmet off. I snatched his off, and it just went from there. I really don't have anything to say about Cortland. I'd like to apologize to the organization, our owner, my teammates. What happened out there today was not me. I just lost my cool. I wish I could take back what happened, but I can't. It's over and done with. I'm pretty sure that I'll be disciplined for it. When that time comes, I'll find out what it is and I'll have to deal with it from there. I hope I'm not suspended for the next game. Andre's teammate Kevin Walter, who was witnessing the whole thing, also said, even before last year, before the whole fight with him and Andre, years before that he's been pushing people around. He pushed me in the back after a play, but you know what? He runs away. He'll run away from it. And then you talk to him and he'll hide behind his guys. A few days after the game, both guys were fined $25,000 for their fight, and Cortland spoke about the situation saying, "Did I want it to escalate into that? Absolutely not. The only thing that upsets me is if you reverse that and it's me, I'm not at the radio show. I'm sulking because I got a game suspension, but you twist it and it's because of me." And Cortland actually spoke about Andre a few years after the scuffle, saying that his biggest regret was that he could have thrown some haymakers at Mr. Johnson, and if we could meet in a dark alley one of these days, whoever comes out, that would be great. Now, late 2015, when Cortland retired and gave his speech, he took one last shot at Andre when he said, "Spent 9 years doing something I love, and it paid off in so many ways. To say I've been blessed is an understatement, and I'm forever thankful. I've made my share of mistakes and had moments of glory. I even got into a fight in an NFL game." He hits like a bitch. I'm thankful for the friends I made on and off the field. Love y'all. Time to move on and enjoy new people, new places, and new ideas. I forgot to thank all the haters. I love y'all too. Now, Jared Allen was definitely a dominant defensive force in the NFL for years, and his intimidation factor made it that much harder on his opponents. Not only did Jared talk smack to players and coaches, but he's even gone as far as talking about a whole city being trash. Jared recently spoke about some quarterbacks he's gotten into with over the years, and he said Phillip Rivers, Jay Cutler, they used to run their mouths all the time. Aaron Rodgers. We'd have some good back and forth. It's not really stuff that you remember. It gets feisty. You say dumb stuff to each other and you laugh about it. They tell me I'm worthless, I tell them they suck. All that good stuff. And Jared even went as far as talking about 2 other cities he absolutely hates. And when talking about 2 other NFC teams, he said, "There's 2 cities like I don't go out to eat or don't do anything. It's Detroit and New Orleans. New Orleans looks like I'm driving through a third world country every time I get off the plane. I'm like, oh, flak jacket. I'm trying to get down. I'm like, crap, this sucks." Then when it came to Detroit, Jared said, "Everything is brown and there's snow on the ground. It's like a brownstone everywhere." I'm just like, awesome. I don't know. I couldn't do it. If I had to live in Detroit, I think I'd just drown myself in the river that was across the way. Now, with Josh Norman proving his worth in the NFL over the years, playing at an elite level on the Panthers as well as the Redskins, over the course of his career, his trash talk and famous scuffle with OBJ is what escalated his status the most. In 2015, in a game between the Panthers and Giants, Norman was talking plenty of trash pregame, which led to OBJ losing his cool and leading with his helmet on an illegal hit on Norman. Both of them started taking cheap shots at each other, which led to them being fined and suspended 1 game. And after that game, Norman said, "The man just came straight from my head. He was doing it the whole game. I felt like the league should take a look at what this guy's doing. I mean, it was ridiculous. I hope I'll pull back the mask on who this guy really is. He's got the maturity of a little kid. The guy ran 15 yards down the field, dead on collision. The play was all the way to the left side. He came back and he was hunting, and it was just like malicious in every way. I hope the league office gets a chance to review the film and see what they can do, because players like that don't deserve to be in the game. I mean, it's ridiculous." And Odell replied with a comment of his own saying, "You never want to hurt your team like that. I've learned that throughout my life. Always the second man gets called. Always that. It's just unfortunate. You go back and watch the film tomorrow and you'll learn from it. Norman later appeared on ESPN where he was shown a picture of OBJ and he was asked to give a one-word answer and he said, okay. OBJ got on Twitter and tweeted saying, "That boy should thank me for all I've done for you. You're welcome though, LOL." And Norman fired back on Twitter saying, @OBJ, trigger finger turn to Twitter fingers, huh? I'm not gonna subtweet you. I'ma @ you. So what's up? Now after Norman signed with the Redskins, OBJ spoke with GQ about having him in his division when he said, if I wasn't playing him twice a year, maybe people wouldn't bring him up so much. But now there'll be a lot more media attention for him. Attention that I don't really look for. Attention that I don't need. The reason he's become so relevant is because of me. But Norman replied to OBJ's comments saying, he's relevant because of a catch. But we're not gonna go there. I'm not into the war of words. It means nothing to me. He's talking about me, but I'm not talking about him. I guess when a guy talks about you that much, you're doing something right. And during a 2016 interview with ESPN's The Magazine, Norman talked about the whole OBJ situation, saying, everybody saw what he was. People from around the league were coming up to me afterwards and saying, he does that crap all the time. He's lost so much respect from people for that little tantrum. I'll be honest, I don't care for the guy at all. Now don't get me wrong, he's a good player or whatever, but he's not what he thinks he is. If you hit guys like that, if you completely jam them and shake them up, they can't relate to that. So they started making excuses like, oh, he touched me. They don't know how to respond because they never got hit like that. So me, every time I see him, I'm gonna hit him in the mouth. I don't care. Hey, you suck. Your head looks like a deviled egg. Your toes point in 6 directions. I'm sorry, I was just trash talking you to get you to click on the video. Did it work? Are you gonna click on the video because I trash talk you? Look, it seemed like a good idea. I'm starting to run out of ideas, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just click on the video, please. Just click on it.